COVID accelerated processes that were already taking place. What we thought was going to happen in the areas of digitization, automation, and artificial intelligence in 5 years, we now see that it's going to happen within 2 to 3 years. Consumer behaviors that were already changing significantly, but gradually, we now see changing dramatically. Supply chains that we knew needed to be rewired a little bit are now being dramatically rewired by ourselves and frankly by our competitions. And we see a lot of changes in workplace habits. We've accelerated digitization in ways that I think demonstrate both promise and peril. And for managers, navigating these changes is going to be difficult. This interplay between the human and the technological does not lend itself to easy answers. We have to be able to continue to innovate, to be able to apply digital strategies while recognizing that the way a lot of our workers work doesn't necessarily keep up with the technology that's on the shelf right now. And we also have to be smart stewards of issues like corporate culture and mental health as we integrate these technologies into the workplace. It's an interesting time where being a business leader isn't necessarily always about coming up with the best product strategy, the best marketing strategy, the best consumer insight strategy, though all of those things are as important as they ever have been. What's interesting now is in this world of the zeros and ones of computer code coming through more and more of our business places is an aptitude in behavioral psychology and emotional intelligence is more important than ever before. And some of the kind of instruction, some of the kinds of training and expertise that we will try to bring to your enterprises about how do you merge technological and scientific innovation while also being a steward of these very human aspects of your company, of your community, and of its culture. COVID-19 created an enormous amount of destruction, personal destruction and economic destruction. But I can't help but think of the words of an artist, actually, Pablo Picasso, who said that every act of creation begins with an act of destruction. And so there's an opportunity right now for us to think about 2021 and thinking about how we want Italy, how we want our economy, and how we want our companies to look on the other side of COVID-19. It's going to be difficult to get there, and the transition is not always going to be pretty. But in this pause, we have the opportunity to set strategy, to think a little bit more for the intermediate and long term, to maybe reset some of our corporate policies, to rethink some of our corporate practices, to reimagine the way we want our relationships as leaders and employees to work. And so this moment of transition from destruction to creation is going to create winners and losers. The successful executives who can look on the other side of 2021 and figure out how to use next year to get there are ultimately going to be the winners. And the losers, unfortunately, are going to be those who are trying to think about how to get back to how things used to be. When in fact, we know you cannot just go back to how things used to be. And if you try to reestablish normalcy, as we traditionally and normally think of it, what you're going to find out is that we aren't going back to normal. There's going to be a new normal. And in fact, to paraphrase Darwin, it's not going to be the strongest of our businesses that survive, or the most intelligent, but those most adaptable to change. We need to take advantage of this moment of destruction to imagine and business plan for the creation that can and should follow it.